welcome to Do What You Love. My name is Missy and today we're going to do story time. So if you guys love story time, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up, and if you guys have not joined the Lovey Army yet, you guys should totally subscribe and become part of the Lovey family. We have so much fun here. We really do. And I just want to take a moment to welcome all of my new subs. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining the Lovey Army. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you're enjoying Do What You Love, because I'm surely enjoying all of you. I'm just so happy today. I'm just so happy today to have all of you guys and call you all my friends. Seriously, nothing but love for you all. XOXO. I just love you guys. Love. Okay, let's get down to the story time. Okay, so I have two quick little stories to tell you guys today. They're animal related and they are one of our funny stories. I really want to tell you guys a funny story. We all need to laugh. I know I need to laugh. I'm like melting here. It's like really hot here all of a sudden. So if I look really red, it's because I'm flushed. Like, look, I have little rosy red cheeks. It's like, oh, I'm really hot in here. And then in front of this like big light, it's like even hotter. So please forgive the very red apple looking cheeks. I'm flushed. I'm sorry. But anyways, two funny animal stories. I really hope that you guys laugh a lot. When we tell this one story, which is the infamous bat story, like, people pee their pants. They laugh so hard, but it's because they know my husband and I, and they know how serious my husband is. So when you hear his reaction to this, it's like, I don't know, when you know him, I think it's more funny. But I hope it's still funny to you guys, because it truly is funny. So I have two quick ones, so instead of rambling, I'll just tell you. So we'll start with the infamous bat story. So let me set the scene for you. It's about 2 o'clock at night. It is a hot August night. We have the window open, hoping a breeze will come through. No such luck. We are sound asleep. Dead asleep. Like, we're in, like, I believe my husband and I were both in like that REM sleep, you know, where you're in that deep sleep. And out of nowhere, my daughter comes flying into our room, screaming her head off. And I don't know if you've ever been startled in your sleep like that, but my husband and I both we were laying flat and boom, sat straight up. But you're not awake. Does that make sense? Like, you're not awake. You're reacting to what's going on, but you can't process what's going on. You're just reacting. So we both sit straight up. And within seconds of sitting straight up, something in my peripheral vision came into the room and hit my husband in the head, and he, you know, flung his head back, and he's doing all this stuff with his hands, but I don't think he even realized what was happening, because I didn't realize what was happening, because your brain still isn't like fully awake. It wasn't until we heard our daughter, those screams that she came into our room, finally were being processed through our ears and became like, instead of noise, became words. She was screaming, "There's a bat in the house! There's a bat!" So then it's going, oh, a bat just hit Jeff in the head. I realized it, then he realized it, so we both start freaking out. Ah, there's a bat! And like, she's standing in the doorway screaming on the top of her lungs like that, and I guess that kept the bat from like leaving the room, so it kept like circling our bed. So that was freaking us out even more. So it was just like an instinct to, Jeff's flailing, I'm like, oh my god. So you take the covers and you're pulling them up over your head, and then we both lay back down on the pillow, and we're both like hiding underneath the covers. So then it takes a couple seconds to process. Jeff just got hit in the head with a bat. Like, the bat literally flew into the room and hit him in the head really hard. And like, he realized that he got hit in the head with a bat. So I'm starting to like laugh underneath the cover. He's so ticked off. Because he's got to get up like in 2 hours to go to work. He's woke up like that. This bat hit him in the head, and now he's going to have to deal with trying to get this bat out of the house. All at 2:30 in the morning, right? So I'm trying not to laugh because I can see his face. He's like really angry, and he keeps rubbing his head. He's like, that freaking thing hit me in the head. Like, he was getting mad. So And I'm telling you, all this happened, like, it's gonna take me a few minutes to tell you the story, but when the things are happening, it's like happening in moments of seconds, you know what I mean? It's hard to put into words because it was like seconds of things, but as these seconds were going on, it was getting funnier and funnier. So we process what happened, so we yell at Savannah, Savannah, hurry up, go back into your room and close the door. So we hear her little feet and the door shut. So we knew that she was in her room. So, you know, we pulled out the covers and we're peeking to see where the bat's at, and the bat, we can see, like, it's dark, but you can still see something moving. We can see it went out, like, towards the door. So Jeff flung off the covers and he went to the door and he used his foot and he slammed our door shut, right? And he flips on the light, and sure enough, the bat's not in our room, and he's like, that stupid bat's in the hall. How am I gonna get rid of it? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm crawling out of the covers, so by this time, I'm like on all fours on the bed because I ain't getting on the floor. I'm like on all fours on the bed, like, what are we gonna do? So I'm watching Jeff. So we have the light on so we can see really good now. So he's gonna open up the door and like peek to see where it's flying in the hall. So he's looking up because bats fly. So he's opening the door and he's looking up for the bat, and the door gets wider and wider and wider because he can't see the bat flying around above him. Like I said, this happened in seconds. The next thing I know is I hear my husband screaming in octaves that I've never heard him scream in before, and jumping around and flailing around. A 2-year-old little ninny girl. All I can say is he was acting like a 5-year-old little girl who was petrified. I have never heard my husband in those octaves ever, or seen him flail around and do what he was doing ever. What had happened was when he like kicked the door, I think he caught the bat, and the bat like fell on the bottom of the door. So when he opened up the door and he kept pulling it wider, his foot was like right there, and for whatever reason, whatever god-awful reason, my husband sleeps in socks. Even in August at 110-degree weather, he sleeps in socks. Ugh. He pulled open the door, and I think it pulled the bat with it on the floor. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a bat up close, but like on the tip of their wing, they have like this hooked thumb. It's like a thumbnail, like a nail. Well, that hook got hooked up in his sock. It was hooked up in his sock. So this bat is hooked on the top of his sock on his foot, and he is wigging. I mean, like full on 5-year-old scaredy cat girl wigging, screaming, flailing, get it off, get it off. Like, I've never in my life ever seen him act like this. And I'm on the bed on all fours, and he's like looking at me, wanting me to get this bat off of his foot. And I'm worried that he's going to have to get control of himself and call 911 because I'm laughing so hard I can't breathe and feel like I'm going to pass out. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was terrible. I don't know, like, honestly, I was laughing so hard. I don't honestly kind of like know what happened, but what I think he did was, I think when his flailing, he like kicked the bat off his sock. And our window was across the room, and the bat kind of like landed in the window. It was like in the window. Now, I am an animal lover, so in my brain, after I got oxygen back to it, was like, oh good, we can just open the screen and, you know, shush it and it'll fly away. I am seriously the type of person that will see a box turtle trying to cross the road and will pull over on the side of the road, pick the box turtle up as it's peeing all over me, and put it onto the side of the road so that it doesn't get hit. I'm serious. I'm that type of person. So I was like, oh good, we got the bat in the window, we'll just open the screen and it'll fly away. My husband, on the other hand, when he recovered from being the little ninny that he was for 15 seconds or whatever, runs over to the window and wants to, like, our windows didn't open up and down, they slid from side to side. He wants to slide the slider over the bat. And I'm going, no, Jeff, no. Well, I think he was so mad at that point, he right over the bat. Its little wing was going, ooh. I felt so horrible for the bat. But to be honest with you, I think the bat was already hurt. I think it got hit with the door. And then I think when he kicked it off, because we heard it, like that's how I knew it was in the window. When he like kicked it off his sock, we heard it like clunk clunk, like it went into the window hard. So I think it was already probably done for, but Jeff got his revenge on that bat very quickly. So he got hit in the head with that thing. And in his story of this, he was attacked by this bat. I will never forget this as long as I live. So that's one little story of, I have, like, guys, seriously, I have about 300 animal stories. We've had things happen to us with animals that are almost unbelievable, but they're the God honest truth. In another house that we were living in, this house was a rental. This was actually in Tennessee. This house was a rental. We were sleeping one night, and in the middle of the night, we heard like a crash on your stove. Do you know how like that metal sound on your stove, it's very distinctive. You know it's your stove. Like if you ever drop something on your stove, as long as it isn't a glass top, it's just like a regular stove with the 4 burners, that sound, you know that sound. I'm sure if you cook, you know if you ever drop something on it. It's a very distinctive sound. So when we heard this in the middle, of course it's the middle of the night again. In the middle of the night, we knew it was our stove. Like something fell on our stove. So I sleep very lightly. My husband, it takes a lot to wake him up unless you're a 4-year-old little girl running into the room screaming there's a bat. So I heard the sound and it scared me half to death. Like really and truly like scared me, like panicked heart like thing. And you know you heard it and you know it was your stove, but you're trying to process it like what would fall on my stove. So I froze, you know, in bed for a few minutes and I'm listening and now I can really hear it. Like something not only fell on our stove, but now is like moving around on the stove and you can hear the burners going up and down and like there's just noises coming off of our stove from the kitchen. So that's it. I was like, Jeff. You know, I took my hand, Jeff. He's like, what? I'm like, listen. So at first he's like, I don't hear nothing. And then like a big crash. And he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, babe, listen, something's out on the stove. And he's listening and he's going, holy crap, I think somebody's in the kitchen. So we had one of those moments where we were like, we thought somebody was seriously in our house. So I don't even know what he grabbed. I have no idea. He grabbed something, like I think either we had like a bat or something in our room. He grabbed it and he comes to the door. But when we come to the door, we had this really long hall and both of our kids' rooms were on the other side. So Jesse's room was here and then a bathroom and then my daughter's room. And we were on the other side of the hall. So when we came to the door, they were already standing in their door because they heard this too. And my son was going, Dad, there's somebody in the house, He's going, stay in your room. Well, then we heard this weird noise. Like, weird noise. This could almost be a paranormal story, guys. So we look down the hall. Now, mind you, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's dark. We look down at the hall, and at the end of the hall are 2 red glowing eyes, real low to the ground. No lie, I am not crapping, you guys. My daughter's going, what is it? We're screaming, go in the room and shut the door. And this thing is making, these eyes are making these noises. And I'm like, oh my God, Jeff, what is that? And like, again, this is another one of those stories where it takes me a couple minutes to tell you, but this is all happening in moments, in seconds. At first you're like, oh my God, what is it? It's a demon. And then you hear the noise and then the shadow of that figure moves and then you realize it's a raccoon. It's a raccoon. A raccoon is at the end of the hall and it's making these really weird noises and its eyes are glowing red. It's like a reflective thing, like a reflective red glow. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. But when you see it at 1 o'clock in the morning, your first thing is like, oh my God, it's a demon. But it was a raccoon. So my husband goes, I think that's a freaking raccoon. He didn't even get the raccoon all the way out of his mouth, and that thing came charging down the hallway, making these raccoon noises. He about pushed me over to get me back in the room, and he slammed the door. Like, this thing was coming down the hall to attack us. And as he's pushing me and trying to pull the door shut, he's yelling, don't open your door, it's a raccoon, it's a raccoon. Well, we were held hostage in our bedrooms almost the entire night because we could hear this thing out there making noises. It was making screaming noises. It was in the kitchen. We could hear it rattling around on the stove. We could hear it on the counters. It was scratching doors. We didn't know what to do. This thing like literally held us captive in our bedrooms until, I don't know, I'd say about 4:30, 4:45 in the morning. We didn't hear no more noises. So my husband's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. So he opened the door real quiet, like, we were scared to death. Like, we thought this raccoon had rabies. Because number one, it charged after us, and it just, I don't know, it didn't act normal. I don't know, it was really weird. But what happened was, this house was a rental, and we had to buy the stove and the hood. You know, like the hood that goes above your stove, that's like your vent and your light. Well, we couldn't afford that at the moment, so we didn't have a hood where a hood would go over the stove. What happened was the raccoon came through that vent, wherever that vented out on the ceiling, on the roof, I guess, and came through that hole where the vent would be on that hood and dropped through that. That's the big crash that we heard on our stove, and it actually cracked our stove, the porcelain top part of the stove. So I don't know if it went back out that way or if it found another way out. We have no idea, but it eventually left, but it ransacked our entire kitchen. Like, our dog food, the whole bag was busted open and all over the floor. Potatoes, whatever kind of was laying out, it got into the cupboards and like busted open cereal boxes and stuff. We woke up to a disaster. But because it was a rental, we called the rental guy, and they had to come and put a net up. Like, they had to put a net up and catch this thing. So, but it never came back. It never came back. I don't know what happened to that raccoon, but I don't know how else to explain it. We had a freaking raccoon drop through the vent above our stove and like hold us hostage in our house and completely ransacked our home. We were terrified, I have to say, for the next week that this thing was gonna come back. It was crazy. But anyways, this video is getting kind of long. I just thought I'd share 2 of my crazy, funny animal stories with you. I hope you guys laughed. I hope you guys found that funny, because it's hysterical to me that my husband was attacked by a bat and then we were like held ransom by a raccoon in the middle of the night. But anyways, that's my story time for today. I really hope you guys laughed. I really did, at our expense, because it's just, laughing is good for the soul. But you guys have a great, blessed day. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed story time. If you like these funny animal stories, let me know in the comments, because guys, I have a lot of those. And if there's anything specific you'd like to hear from me, let me know down in the comments too. You guys have a great day. Nothing but love for you all. XOXO. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey, no, no, no.